All right, wrapping up here on the Ryan Hartson Show on the BWC Network. I am Ryan Hartson, breaking down all your divisional round action in the NFL. Let me just say this, because I've taken it upon myself to belittle Corey in every segment in this show, and I'm going to do it one more time because he's not here. Corey, you're not here on the biggest football weekend of the year. You have not one, not two, but 4 unbelievable playoff games, and the dude can't show up. And he was very nonchalant about it today. Oh, I can't come. I don't know. I'm doing something. All right, fine. I'm over it. I'm completely over it. Corey, where are you? All right, let's go. Let's break down the Green Bay Packers taking on the New York Giants at Lambeau Field on Sunday night. It's the game that everybody wants to see. You got Eli Manning. You have Aaron Rodgers. Unbelievable offense on both sides of the ball. Both teams don't really like playing defense. That's fine. You don't need to play defense in this league anymore. And, it's at that unbelievable setting of Lambeau Field. In the cold, all the crazy cheeseheads throwing beer bottles at each other. It'll be great. But really, there are 2 schools of thought that I kind of had for this NFL playoffs. And I didn't really think either of them would kind of run into each other until the NFC Championship game. But it kind of happened in this first round of the playoffs, and I'm kind of happy that it did, because no matter what happens in this game, I'm right. And I've been wrong so often recently that it's going to be relieving to be right. The one school of thought was, well, the Giants are the hot team, and can they get hot and do what Green Bay did last year and go bang, 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 win 4 games, win the Super Bowl? But then the Packers at home score like 40 a game. They score 35, 40 a game at home in the cold. So the thought is, what kind of team can come in and score 40 points in Green Bay to win the football game? Because teams can come in and score 40 and still lose because Aaron Rodgers is that good. But who can come in and beat Green Bay in Green Bay? But now you've got the Giants. The schools of thought kind of collide here, because you've got the Giants, the hot team, coming in and taking on the Packers, which are kind of this unbeatable team at home, very similar to New Orleans in the Superdome. So what's going to happen here? And I have no idea. I'm more willing to go with the hot team. I like picking the hot team. The hot team thing kind of matters. You go back and you look at history. The Giants have done it. Completely different Giants team with Strahan, and Eli was nowhere near as good as he was now. That's different. This Giants team, great quarterback, great receivers to throw to, with Victor Cruz, Mario Manningham, and Hakeem Nicks. But they're going to a place against a team that's just really good. I mean, you forget how great the Packers were this year. 15-1, MVP of the league at quarterback. They turn the ball over like crazy. They give up a lot of yards, but those are bloated stats, and yardage doesn't really matter in the NFL anymore. So it's the hot team versus the great team. And you think last year's NFC, Green Bay was the hot team and the great team. They just didn't play great, but then all of a sudden they figured it out. The Giants weren't great at any point. They weren't expected to be great. I picked them at 500. Most people, in fact, picked them at 500 at the beginning of the year. But now as they kind of roll through, now they're starting to get hot. They're starting to figure it out a little bit. But are the components really there? Quarterback, receiving core, pass rush, great head coach. Eli's a check. Receiving core is a check. Defense, yes and no. The secondary is horrible. But the caveat, every secondary in the NFL is horrible, so maybe that doesn't count. The pass rush is brilliant. Is it the same as Strahan and Tuck and Umanura a few years ago? No. Not even close. Pierre-Paul is solid. He's not as fantastic as those guys were in '07. So are the Giants built like that great team that kind of falls apart and then gets hot at the end? Pittsburgh '05, the Giants '07. Or are they just kind of this team that's getting hot and getting almost kind of lucky? The Jets in '09. Kind of, they're okay most of the year, and then they get hot and go to the championship game. And you've got this Packer team. They have all the makings of this dynasty thing. And people don't want to use the word dynasty because it takes, you have to acquire it over time, over years. And the Packers maybe haven't earned that yet. And they haven't. They're not a dynasty now. But they have the makings of becoming one. So I'm going to pick the Giants in this game for a couple of reasons. Number one, I picked against the Packers every single year in the playoff, every single game in the playoffs last year. And they won every single time, and I want to keep that streak going because it's about as close to superstitious as I get, so I'm just going to keep that streak going for myself as a Packer fan. And the other reason is I think Eli, outside, in the cold, it doesn't affect him. And there's something about the Packers, I've said it all year, there's something about the Packers I just kind of don't like. I can't figure it out. There's just something I can't kind of wrap my arms around with this team. So I'm going to pick the Giants because I'm superstitious and I like picking against my team. And more importantly, because I think the Giants have the pieces. They're getting hot at the right time. They have the ammo of that hot team, even though there's some parts about them that maybe they're not. So there's a lot to figure out. At the end of the day, this is a very close game. They played once earlier. It's a 38-35 game. Aaron Rodgers goes down with 51 seconds. Bang, bang, bang. They kick a field goal, win the game. You're going to see a very similar game here. Some weird things are going to happen. Weird things always happen when these two teams play. It's going to be a really good game, and I'm going to pick the Giants. It's going to be really, really close. So there you go, Giants and Packers. I like the Giants. Recap the picks quickly. I'll take the Patriots, take the Ravens, I'll take the Giants, and then I'll take the Saints. So I've got all home team. Oh, no, I've got 2 road teams and 2 home teams winning, so it's completely split. In all likelihood, I'll get all 4 games wrong, and it'll be a whole bunch of fun on Monday. All right, I'll see you on Monday. Unless if Tebow wins again, I'm not going to show up because just as an atheist, I'm just going to go cry in my corner. But if Tebow loses, I'll definitely come on to bash him, and that'll be fun. See you next time. It's the Hartson Show on the BWC Network.